Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Manning Field. And it still seems funny to say for Greater Boston League girls soccer. Look, Glasgow 2-1 and 1, taking on a very young Chelsea team. The Chelsea Devils against the Glasgow Rams. Chelsea's only played 2 games. They're 0-2. Anna Flaherty in net for Glasgow. Fernanda Mariquin Castillo getting the nod in the net. She's not usually their goaltender. Their goaltender, who is Katie Arias, is not here. And we've had problems. We had English playing Everett last week. Everett only brought 9 players. Chelsea had a game this week, within a week, last week, when they only had 9 players. Chelsea mentioned very young. They only have 3 juniors. Broken up. We almost picked that off. Now they take it away. And they score right off the bat. They took it away from the defense. I think that was Delaney Dana. She got the goal. The last game they played, they won 1-0. She got the goal, the winning goal. Now she starts this off. She just took it away. It bounced around. The defense looked like they had it about to clear it. Dana, just took it away and knocked it home. So in less than 30 seconds, Glasgow gets on the board. Glasgow's got this one today and then the big one tomorrow. Thanksgiving in May. English and Glasgow tomorrow night here, the doubleheader, boys and girls. And that could be it, although they are talking about having a tournament. A lot of the leagues have done it. They have had a mini tournament at the end of the year. Since there's no state tournament, they had a mini tournament at the end of the year within the league. I think the first ones to do it were St. Mary's and the Catholic Central League. And they had virtually a full season. St. Mary's girls played 23 games. The problem with having a tournament here in soccer with these teams are, as I said, Everett, Chelsea showed up not a full contingent. That ball bounces around, and Fernanda Mariquin Castillo grabs it before somebody can poke it in. But it wouldn't be you qualify, it would be the entire league would play. And seed the teams by records, and number 1 seed would get the home games. And the high seeds along the way would get home games. Glasgow right back with the pressure. Now we got a whistle for illegal use of the hands. Randy Grahal is the coach. Chelsea, not an easy task. Takes it away. And right back at it in the Chelsea end. They knock it deep. A foot race. Getting there first. Walking in and nailing it. Ava Thurman just got off an outstanding basketball season. She beat the defense to the ball, kept it alive. The goaltender came over to the near post because she was coming in from the near side, and Thurman very alertly just knocked it in the far post. And we played 4 seconds over 4 minutes, and Glasgow leads it 2-0. Chelsea gets to kick it away. And here they come again. Shot, nice save. I think that was Delaney again, looking for two very quickly. Dana. It's Delaney Dana. I want to make sure I get that right. She's the daughter of the St. Mary's coach. The goalie put the ball down. Glasgow took it away. She put it down to kick it upfield. Glasgow was sitting right in her lap. And they, like John Havlicek, they stole the ball. The goaltender was going to kick it away. I think it was Carenti. Eliza Carenti. Before the goaltender could kick it, she tipped it away from her, and of course she had the wide open net because the goaltender was looking to kick it away. And it could have been Laura Wilson as well. It's hard to pick up the numbers. It was either 15 or 16, so I'll give them both credit. But Glasgow running away and hiding. We haven't played 6 minutes and they've scored 3 goals. Glasgow picks it off. Molly Mannion gets it upfield. And he tried to get it back. It went right by Mannion, out of play. That goal count? Collins looking for it. Back to the other Mannion, Kathleen. And you give it back to Flaherty. Looking for Molly Mannion. Thurman with it. They knock it deep. Glasgow's offside. So now I know it was Eliza Correnti who got the goal. Figuring out the numbers. And this is part of this wacky season. Tech baseball is practicing over at Fraser. Tech track was coaching here before the soccer game. After this game, there'll be a lacrosse practice. Everything. Open the closet door and anything can fall out is falling out. Knocking it away was Wilson down the near side. Takes the shot. It hits the near post and bounces out of play. Shot from a tough angle. Glasgow will make substitutions. I'm not an expert by any stretch on soccer, as Glasgow took it away and almost got a breakaway again. It got pushed a little too far, and Fernando Mariquin Castillo was able to go get it. But I know with all the games of soccer games I've done, good, bad, or indifferent, that's the first time I ever saw the goalie lining up to kick it away and the player coming up and taking it away from her. And getting as easy a goal as you could possibly get. They finally give it back to Flaherty to kick it away. Collins is looking for it. Got three in the middle. Pushing it down the far side. Chelsea took it away. Glasgow takes it back. They knock it deep. And again, goaltender gets out there quickly. Glasgow had a wide open break if she doesn't get to the ball. They knock it deep. Out in front. Thurman's blocked. Kick gets blocked again. Centering it. It got deflected. It took a shot hop, hit the Glasgow player, and deflected into the net. Thurman made the nice pass across. And it was Waterman, I believe, that knocked it in. She was standing out in front. It just shot hopped, it looked like it hit her on the side or the chest, and just deflected into the net off Thurman's centering pass. So Thurman picks up an assist on the play. She's got a goal and an assist. And very quickly, it's 4-0. Chelsea knocks it out. Sabrina Assembo was going to put it in play. Now it's Thurman. Guthrie centering it. Chelsea knocked it away. They knock it to the far side. Dana kicks it alive, and it bounced up and hit Glasgow in the hand. So Chelsea's going to get a free kick. It's been overcast and cloudy, but we haven't had any rain yet. It's supposed to have it later tonight. Dark clouds over Manning Field. Over across Pine Hill Cemetery, there's a couple of bright flashes. But it's a little bit breezy, a little cool. They knock it deep. That's going to go out of play before anybody gets there. Medeiros was trying to get there, but it was too far ahead. They play with it a little bit, then they kick it back to Flower, and she boots it deep. And I think they thought Dana had got it with her hand or her arm. Chelsea will get the kick. Gotta give a lot of credit to these Chelsea kids. I mean, they've only played 2 games. They don't have any seniors. Their goaltender is not here. And it's been rough. But I'm sure they're just happy to be out doing something they like. They'd like to be doing it better, obviously. But what Rainey Grahal said to me before the game is a lot of them haven't played together at all coming into this year, and now they only played 2 games, so they really haven't played with each other virtually at all. And they're very young. They're learning the game. And if they stay with it, they'll be okay. But that's the best part. Whether it was basketball or hockey or football, now it's going to be baseball and softball. It's just glad to see everybody out on the field again. Somewhat, obviously not back to normal, but trying to get and hopefully get somewhat back to normal, if we can remember what that was. So that by the time September comes around, we can get back to having full seasons and everybody back in school full time and businesses open and families getting back together. Hopefully that'll all happen. Glasgow trying to get control. Thurman finally does. Ahead to Guthrie. And gets knocked out by Chelsea. Glasgow again making substitutions. Molly Mannion gets broken up. Nicely, good play by Rena Morera. Mannion gets it back. That was Collins getting it back, knocking it deep for Mannion. And the defense gets there first and knocks it out. Corner kick coming up from Classical from the near side. And winds up in front. And the Classical player that got it kicked it by the net. Now they take the shot, save, and the defender did the right thing. Fernanda Mariquin Castillo made the initial save. It deflected off her to a defender, and rather try to kick it away, she just kind of touched it and gave it back to the goaltender, so the goaltender could kick it away. I'm not sure what the discussion is about now. I thought she made the right play. They gave it back to the goaltender to kick it away. And now everybody is getting together right in front of the net. They can't be giving a Classical kick from there. They are. They're giving a Classical kick from the end zone. She's like 10 feet away from the net. I don't understand that. There's now 11 goaltenders for Chelsea. I thought the defender did the right thing and tipped it back to the goaltender. But I guess I'm wrong. I have never seen this. It's not a... They flip it back to Molly Mannion and she bangs it home. Rather than take the kick herself, I think it was Collins who was going to take the kick. I don't understand that at all. Molly Mannion gets the goal. And at the halfway mark, we're going to get a timeout, but I don't understand that. That wasn't even a penalty kick. That was a free kick from like 4 feet away from the net. They tipped it back. Collins tipped it back to Mannion, and she just blasted it home. And at the halfway mark of this first half, Classical has grabbed a 5-0 lead over Chelsea. As they come out of the timeout, everybody is still talking about that last play. I just don't understand it. I mean, it wasn't that anybody touched it with their hand. If they did, that would probably be a penalty kick, which would come a lot further away. They lined that ball up inside the goal, inside the end zone, like 3 yards, not even 3 yards, like 2 yards or 4 or 5 feet away from the net, and gave Classical the free kick. I don't understand that. I thought the defender made a great play getting it back to her goaltender to try and kick it away. Classical knocked one of the Chelsea players down, Abelina Reyes. So Chelsea would get the free kick. This will be the first time that Chelsea's going to get it into the Classical end. The only time it's been there is when Classical knocked it there. Mannion pushes it ahead. And they knock it too far. It's going to go out of play. Chelsea right now they're not even thinking about scoring goals. They're trying to keep it out in their midfield, keep the ball away from their net. They know this one's over already. It was over in the first less than 30 seconds when Delaney Dana picked off the ball, walked in, and blasted it in. It skips past Chelsea. Mannion looking for it. And he called Classical offside. Classical shifting people around. Kathleen Mannion is usually a defender. She's playing in the middle. And the pass went behind her. Molly Mannion winds up with it. Guthrie's now back playing defense. They tip it ahead down the far side. They go across field to Mannion. Kathleen Mannion tips it to Molly Mannion. And it gets knocked out off Jocelyn Morera. Glasgow will make a substitution. Molly Mannion from Kathleen Mannion. Gets around. She was trying to center it, went off the side of her foot, went out of play behind the net. Chelsea will get to kick it away. This is a case of these games like in basketball where you get football, you get a big lead. The clock continues to run regardless of what happens in sometimes the third period, but at least the fourth period. You kind of wish they put that rule in for soccer too, because this one is really over. Chelsea's just, I think Randy Grahal knew coming in he was overmatched. His team has only played 2 games. They have 5 freshmen, 9 sophomores. They don't have any seniors. They only have 3 juniors. And they don't have the starting goalkeeper. Other than that, everything is fine. Corner kick coming from the near side. Chelsea knocks it away. Glasgow trying to knock it to the net. They knocked it off Chelsea. That was Asombo, Sabrina Asombo. As Asombo again tried to getting in front. Chelsea knocked it away. They tip it away just enough. Mannion fighting for it. Gets control. Tries to center it. Chelsea knocks it away. Broken up. Asombo gets it back. Kathleen Meehan trying to walk in, back checking, took it away. She looking to go get it again. Chelsea gets there first before she can get a shot off. They knock it out. And it will be another corner kick taken by Sabrina Asambo. Marco and Castillo will kick it away. Right to Kathleen Mannion. She takes the shot from long range. It went over off the goaltender's hands behind her, but it was wide of the net and went out of play. Glasgow will get another corner kick. Brent Bullock will take it. Glasgow got the shot off. It went wide. Knocked it down with her body, but a little bit of a tough angle. Knocked it past that far post. Almost got another one. That was Kathleen Mannion. She's found a home plane up front. Flaherty kicks it away. Mannion picks it off. Pushes it upfield. Chelsea gets there first and knocks it out of play. So Glasgow moving everybody all over the place. Mannion gets around, trying to center it. Chelsea swung and missed. It rolled in, and Marco and Castillo was able to grab it and hold on. Rachel Dana with it. That's the other daughter of St. Mary's baseball coach, Derek Dana. Centering it. Glasgow knocked it down. Glasgow gets there first. Chelsea breaks it up. Looking for a break. They swung and missed again, but it went by everybody. Waterman trying to get around the defense. And it's going to roll and go out of play. And Chelsea will get to kick it away. Glasgow picks it off. Chelsea knocks it away. Glasgow backing it up. All the way back to Dana. And she'll give it back to Flaherty. They knock it deep. It's a foot race. Glasgow gets there first, walking in. Good hustle. Hustling back and breaking up the pass or the breakaway. The defense of Chelsea. Jocelyn Moreira with a nice defensive play. Another corner kick coming up for the Lady Rams. Molly Mannion to Kathleen Mannion. Takes the shot. Might have gone inside the far post, might have gone wide, but Mariquin Castillo got there, picked it off. It was just a little slow ground ball. Mannion right back at it. Takes the shot again, put it right on the goaltender who just grabbed it. The Glasgow player bearing down on her. They knock it deep for Molly Mannion. And Chelsea took it away, but they gave it right to Kathleen Mannion. And her would-be pass is blocked and knocked out of bounds. Knocked away, good defense. Blocked. Looking to walk in, tipped away. And they knocked the shot wide. Kathleen Mannion threw a little pass across. She got the pass back and just kind of touched it to deflect it. And it just skid by that far post. Kathleen Mannion right back at it. This time she knocks it in as she celebrates. All that hard work finally paid off. Glasgow picks it off. Chelsea has not got inside the 40-yard line or 30-yard line. Now we got a Chelsea player down, back upfield. And we're going to get a break down the field. We hope she's going to be okay. She's down, and let's hope she's going to get back up and be all right. Glasgow way out in front, 6-0 over Chelsea. Kathleen Mannion threw her hands up and like Rocky. She doesn't get a chance to score much playing back on defense. That may be her first goal. She worked hard. She got a few shots. She missed. She sent a couple in that just missed going inside the post. She shook her head a couple of times, and then she finally got it done. Flaherty boots it away. I talked about the youth of Chelsea. Glasgow's only got 4 seniors. One of them, I've been saying Kathy Mann, Kitty Mannion, I'll say it the way she wants to be called. Couple of nice shifts going by. That's Maggie Nerrick. They give it back to Molly Mannion. Winds up all the way back with Flaherty. It was nice to see the young lady from Chelsea. I couldn't get her number. Nice to see her get up. All the way back to Flaherty again. This is the only time Flaherty touches the ball here in the first half, is when her team sends it back. I heard a whistle. I thought they were marking the end of the first half because we've been in the final 2 minutes for a while. Flaherty will get to kick it away. Carries it all the way up to the 25-yard line. Molly Mannion. Eric. Bullock sends it across. Now they blow the whistle. That's going to do it. So a very big half. St. Mary, excuse me, all these games run together now with all these sports going on at the same time. Lynn Classical scored. Delaney Dana stealing a pass, walking in, scoring in the first less than 30 seconds. And that started it, and they added to it. They put 6 on the board, 6 different scorers. And at halftime, Glasgow well on their way to their third win. They lead it 6-0 over Chelsea. Just about set to start the second half here at Manning Field. Look, I don't know if Chelsea has an injury. They can't play. Oh, I guess it's okay. I thought I only counted 10 players for Chelsea. But they've got their number okay, 11. And I don't know who it is in net now for Classical. I, I'm going to guess it's Lauren Wilson. She's listed as the other goaltender. So Flaherty is out. Lauren Wilson will be in net, and she can sit and watch this second half because Chelsea has not come close to getting a shot on net. They haven't got the ball inside the 30-yard line of Glasgow. Cross field to Dana. She started the action with a goal and got the ball rolling. Tucker is back on defense, and that's Page in the middle, back there as well. Chelsea with a break. Nice defense by Page. The problem being so far away from the action is that half the time you don't know who's doing what because you can't see the numbers. Like now, right down in front of us, easy pickings. We can see the 20 for Dana, and we can see the 5 for Waterman. Of course, one of the problems with girls soccer is they have that long ponytail that hangs down and covers part of their number on their back. But when they go to the far side, like where they are now, almost impossible to pick up the numbers. And lots of times we'll, in error, we make enough mistakes on our own. We don't need any help. But we'll come up with a wrong name or a wrong number. Because from this distance all the way to the far side, especially down in the far corners, awful tough to pick up the numbers. And that's when you wind up giving credit to somebody who didn't get it. It's like when they score a goal and you look and you say, there's a breakaway for Glasgow walking in. They call him offside. It took him a long time to blow that whistle. I think the referee's trying to be generous too, not let the score run up. He waited a while before he blew that whistle. But the same problem arises when they score a goal. You look and you say, there she is. She's right there. I got her in my sights. And right after you say that, there are 9 other players surround her with a hug. They go into a team huddle. And when they break, you say, which one was that? Well, who do I have in my sights? And you have to try and figure out who it was or get some help as to who it was. They get it back to Lauren Wilson. She kicks it upfield. Collins with it. Shifts. Another shift. Back to Wilson. We mentioned Glasgow will be right back here. Almost got a shot on that. They lined up to get the shot and it got deflected. That's the deepest penetration that Chelsea has had. Glasgow takes it right back the other way. Dana pushed it away. She's got it walking in, and she just touches it. They're not trying to score. That was just a little touch. That's almost like giving it back to your own goaltender to kick it away. They had a break. She could have walked in. Easily could have got her second goal. But they don't need any more goals. They're just trying to run the clock out. Good sportsmanship on the part of Glasgow. They give it back to Wilson. Wilson's only a freshman. I don't know if her and her brother are. I think her brother was I don't know if he was a sophomore or freshman. He's a freshman. They might be twins. Young player. He had a good year in basketball, her brother. Glasgow takes it away. And again, to the near side, to Dana. Gives it back to Tucker. One's up back with Page. And she gives it back to Wilson. The Mission Classical only has 4 seniors, so they're all captains. Jessica Page, Mary Collins, Hannah Guthrie, Kitty Mannion, otherwise known as Kathleen. This is one of those tough assignments for the coaching staff, Coach Shenna. You know, the last thing you want to do is embarrass the other team. So you don't want to, Classical obviously could score a lot of goals here. They have 6. They move the ball. And Chelsea has not got anywhere near, even close to getting a shot on net. And this is a game where you let everybody play. You get everybody work. Like I said, he moved people around. People played different positions. Kitty Mannion moved up front. Guthrie played back on defense. Glasgow bring it back and then just brings it back the other way. Here's a case where Dana could have broken in alone. She still can. And didn't bother. Just brings it back. Mary Collins. Waterman broken up. Merrick pushes it back. They give it all the way back to Jessica Page. She gives it to Tucker. Back to Page. And back to the goaltender Wilson. as I mentioned, classical. Derek, a little nice little switch, gets it to Collins. Now it's just sort of like a game of keep away. And try to do anything you can to not score goals. And again, it winds up back with Wilson. And it's going to go out of play. Classical waiting to make wholesale changes. Almost an entire team coming in. Hardest thing in the world for Coach Shenna. Everybody wants to play. Everyone would like to score. We saw that with Kitty Mannion. Might have been her first goal ever. She celebrated her first goal. Now you're out there trying not to score, the exact opposite of why you practice all week and why you play the games. And all because you don't want to embarrass the other team. Because score-wise, you certainly could. I mean, there are teams, especially in the football factories, that would run up scores that would like to score 50, 60 points, 100 if they could. Then you get the other people who coach and say, we have enough, we don't need any more. And they say, what do you mean? Let the kids play. The lights are coming on here at Manning Field. We told you with all the sports going on at the same time, there'll be a lacrosse schedule practice after this. Baseball practice going on with Frazier. Track practice here before the soccer. You don't want Richie Avery's job right now. Richie Avery is the guy that is in charge of Frazier Field and Manning Field, taking over John Cassano, who did such a great job, and Richie Avery's doing just as good a job. He now has to, usually he would schedule soccer and football. Now he's scheduling soccer and football and baseball and track practices and lacrosse practices and everything coming together at the same time. Haskell's just kicking it away. Again, you got to give a lot of credit to the Chelsea team. They're working hard. If there was no scoreboard going and you walked in now, you wouldn't know that it's 6-0 and that the game is over. Chelsea's still trying to do everything they can. They're just overmatched. All these young kids, a lot of freshmen. But Coach Grahal has to be happy with the effort. They're still running around, trying to play defense, trying to get an offense started. Guthrie looking for it, tips it back, and he'll give it back to Wilson. Knocked out by Chelsea. Chelsea will make some changes, as will Coach Shannon will make one. Pollock broken up. They got the shot. Went wide right. Good bid. Almost took advantage of that giveaway. They got the shot off, but it went wide right. Chelsea keeping it in the Glasgow end. Now taken away. And they knock it very deep. Glasgow's going to get there first. Looking to walk in. They knocked the shot. They took the shot. It went off the side of the net. Out of play. That's the first shot Glasgow's taken in a very long time. Just trying to run the clock out if they can. Having more points that they really need. 6 different goal scorers in the first half. Now just trying to get through, keep everybody healthy, safe. Chelsea knocks it out. Dana will put it in play. Back to Tucker. And to give it back to Wilson. Wilson winds up with it again. This off a deflection. As we're halfway through and counting the second half. Glasgow looking for another breakaway. Trying to walk in. The shot on net. That's the second shot that Classical has taken in the second half. Both of them by Victoria Medeiros. Otherwise, they're just trying to keep the ball upfield, keep it away from their net. Chelsea tips it ahead. Glasgow gets there first. We'll wait and see if the GBL tournament materializes. Some of the teams, like this Chelsea team, might say, you know what, we'll wait till next year, come back full strength after getting part of a year under our belts. They call Classical offside. Medeiros is going to go in by herself again. Nice pass from Delaney Dana. So we're past the halfway mark of the second half, and Classical comfortably ahead 6-0 over Chelsea. We come out of the timeout 6-0 Classical, and there's pros and cons about what Classical is doing. If it's like a basketball game. If you're winning by 50, you can't just not shoot the ball and shoot. You can run the clock down and take a weird shot with the clock running down, but it's difficult what Classical is doing. Some people consider what Classical is doing now to be embarrassing to Chelsea because they're just passing it around, moving it back, not trying to take it to the net, except those couple of times by Medeiros. And the thing is, if you put all your backups in and they're scoring, you can't be found at fault because, for instance, Delaney Dana now going down inside. If she takes it all the way in and scores, she sent it across to Medeiros, and the shot went over the net. If Delaney took it down and scored, then Miss Dana, they would say, why is she in the game and why is she scoring with the score 6-0? But Medeiros doesn't get a chance to score. Like Kitty Mannion, when they moved her up front from defense and she scored the goal, she celebrated because it's her first goal. You understand that. You don't want your top scorers scoring in this game after the first half. So there's pros and cons, and Coach Shenna from Classical has the toughest assignment in the world. Do you let your kids play and run the score up, even if it's the subs, and embarrass Chelsea, or you just play keep away and make it even more embarrassing? Nobody wants his job right now. And it's something totally different than what these kids have been taught to do. Go for the juggler. Score the goal. Make the nice pass. Walk in and score. They send it across and they tip it over. Now, that could be one way to make it look a lot better. Chip it, get the shot on, miss the shot wide, miss the shot right, tip it over the net. But it looks as though you're still playing the game and not just trying to play keep away. So it's a very tough assignment. And it's a very tough assignment for the Chelsea coach as well, trying to keep everybody alive and kicking. And they walk in and score. Olivia Waterman. That's her second goal. She went around the defense, walked in, and just drilled it. First score of the second half. I don't know if she was trying to score or trying to chip it over, but she smacked it right into the net. Mariquin Castillo just watched it go by. She's not the goaltender normally for Chelsea. She's filling in because she had to. So it was bad enough to begin with, but now when you start the game and you don't have your number one goaltender, makes it even harder. Chelsea getting inside the 25, they haven't got there very often. They still don't have a shot on net. Derek kicks it ahead. Waterman kicks it back to Tucker. They get back to years ago in basketball when it used to be four corners, freeze the ball for the last 2-3 minutes. We're way ahead. We don't need points. Freeze the ball. And that used to be so boring to watch. Chelsea will put it in play. Derek blocking the Chelsea player. Derek Glasgow's not even looking at the net. They're catching the pass and just turning and knocking it back toward their own net. Bullock knocks it away. And it gets knocked out of play. There's still a few fans that have hung around. I imagine the question they're asking is it still Monday? Because this has not been a great game to watch. I don't think it's been a great game to watch for the Classical fans either. It was nice early on when they got early goals. And then it was like, this is going to be one of those games where you hope that you get down to the clock and the clock can run out. Glasgow hasn't crossed midfield in a while. And I don't think they want to. This looks like one of the warm-up drills before when they put on different jerseys and they play keep away and try to keep the ball away, 5 or 6 to a group, and they warm up before the game, trying to keep it away. And I have to agree with some. This is a little bit more embarrassing to Chelsea than running up the score. As long as you don't run it up with your number one players scoring. That skipped right by. Finally wound up in Chelsea territory. And it got there off a play by Chelsea, not Glasgow. Katie Mannion out there trying to keep it. This is like, when's the last time you saw a soccer team trying to keep the ball in their own end? As a Chelsea player goes down. They kicked it right to Chelsea. Like Mannion went down on top of the ball, got knocked down. Glasgow will get the free kick. They were looking to go across field and got blocked. It winds up back at the far end again. Knocked out by Chelsea again. This is when you get, we haven't got there yet, but this is when you get to the last 2 minutes and the clock stops and it's kept on the field, that you hope the officials say, 2 minutes, yep, it's gone, and blow the whistle and get everybody off the field. They finally get it to the near side. Teneric has been over the far side for quite a while. Now they'll play catch over here. Back to Wilson. Tucker has it. And they give it back to Wilson. You almost wish that all these passes that Chelsea would pick it off and walk in and either score a goal or get a shot on net. They haven't come close. They had one shot that went wide right. Other than that, they haven't even got a shot off in the direction of the net. But they're still out there working. They're still chasing the ball around. They could just stand around and watch Glasgow play catch. But they're working hard to get it back. And it was faking like she was going to go to the net. Chelsea knocks it out. Now they call it off Glasgow. Back to the near side. Back to the Glasgow side of the 50-yard line. Chelsea will get they'll get to kick it in from deep. They haven't had to do this the entire game. I'm not sure why, but the official blew Chelsea offside. I think they could have eaten that whistle. Why the hell did the official call Chelsea offside? Winding down what will go in the books as a win for Glasgow, but it's not going to be. Nobody's going to go home bragging about this win. As they get blocked into the Chelsea bench area. And that's not a knock on Glasgow. They played hard. They got those goals. Outplayed Chelsea, got a 6-0 lead, and now these Glasgow kids have done everything they can to keep the score down. As it's now 7-0. Delaney Dana got the first one. Ava Thurman got one. She also got an assist. Eliza Correnti got the third one. Olivia Waterman got her first of two. On that wacky play, I still don't know what it was. I'm trying to try and find out. That free kick they gave Glasgow from virtually 3 feet away from the net. Collins just tipped it back to Mannion. Molly Mannion got the goal. Collins got the assist. And then Kitty Mannion, after 4 or 5 attempts, she got 4 or 5 shots. She got loose, she got close. After they moved her from defense up front, she got a couple of shots that went by the net, missed the net. The goalie got a piece of it. She finally scored a goal and celebrated, and that made it 6-0 at halftime. And then Glasgow just didn't bother to take any shots, although Medeiros took a couple, knocked it over the net a couple of times, but then Waterman walked in and got her second goal, knocking it in the back of the net for the only score of the second half. As we're winding this game down now, and right now the officials should be blowing the whistle and saying, that's it, who cares, nobody's going to care if we don't play the last 2 minutes, because nobody's going to know what the last 2 minutes are except the official. So that second goal by Waterman made it 7-0. So Glasgow's going to go to 3-1-1, and they'll get ready for arch rival English tomorrow night, where it will be Thanksgiving in May. And we'll be right back here Friday night, Thanksgiving football, English in Glasgow. And at the same time, St. Mary's will be playing baseball and softball. So tomorrow, Tuesday, English Glasgow, boys, girls soccer. Wednesday, St. Mary's softball. Thursday, St. Mary's baseball. Friday, English Glasgow football. Saturday, we're back with St. Mary's baseball and softball. I was just going to say, I can't believe the officials let it go this far. They should have blown the whistle a long time ago. So Flaherty and Wilson combined for the shutout. Glasgow will go to 3-1-1, and it was a long, tough second half for the Lady Rams. They did the best they could to keep the score down, and they did that. 6 in the first half. Olivia Waterman led the way with 2. Delaney Dana got 1. Ava Thurman got 1. Eliza Correnti got 1. Molly Mannion got 1. Kitty Mannion got 1. Thurman and Mary Collins picked up assists. And Glasgow will go to 3-1-1. Ipswich will have to wait for their first win. So Glasgow 7, Chelsea nothing here at Manning Field. We hope you enjoyed it. I'm John Hoffman saying we'll see you next time.